LeFou, channel 347 at the Riverside. This is my Mac. I'm kind of, a funny old camera, isn't it? My camera's not working. I can't use it. Everyone wants to donate some money. I've got a Canon, which I can get much better pictures on. But anyway, this will do for the moment. So I'm kind of outside today. Slightly warmer today. Oh, yesterday was bloody freezing. I'm going to start by countering the claims made. I've heard it quite a lot that the anti-COVID demonstrations, which are actually taking place worldwide but won't get any broadcasting, are somehow linked to the fascists, which is, like, what's wrong with the fascists? They should have their say like anyone else. We should all be allowed to speak, everybody. So there's no denial. You can't avoid letting people speak. That's anti-democratic. But I think you'll find anyway that the fascists, they aren't the fascists. The fascists are in power, and they have been for an awful long time. And this word conspiracy, I'll tell you where it came from. It was. Some people say it came from the CIA, but it really didn't. I think it was around long before that. Conspiracy is a funny word. It's like I've seen people recently who conspire to think that conspiracists are fascists, but that's just an opinion. So it's like it's a theory. It's no better than what you might call conspiracy theory, which is, it's meaningless really, because it doesn't say anything about what you've been researching or how you've developed your understanding of the planet we live on. And so the word, I'll tell you how it happened. The word conspiracy came from this. Because I was working in television, so I was watching quite a lot at the time. I don't watch so much these days, but it's still relatively true. That they'll get someone on who's very anti-government, and they'll start complaining that they're planning things, and the news really will say, "But isn't that just conspiracy theory?" Well, there was no discussion. It was just a repeated line, and it went on for years actually. This line that came up, and David Icke might have been part of that. But David Icke got banned yesterday from even being on YouTube for a speech he made at a protest in London. But that's how it began. It began with the newsreader. So this line, the conspiracy theorists, goes out to millions of people, and they all pick up on it, and suddenly it's a fear word. It's like it's gone mad. It doesn't mean anything. Everything's a conspiracy, right? Two people who are setting up a business conspired to set up a business, right, to sell things, right? So they kind of come up with a few words that might sell them products. That's conspiring. That's as simple as that. And if so, you think that hasn't gone on, then you're kind of sadly stupid, because it's gone on since forever. That's the corporate world. That's how it works. And the corporate world, I saw a picture today of a line of policemen standing in front of their shields, right? And on every front of all the shields was a corporate logo, right? Well, the world is run by the corporation. Okay, the corporation pays politicians. Right. It's like, you've heard of the backhander? Well, get real, because people give people backhanders for kind of doing what they want. And this is how politicians work. Right? They don't work for people. So they kind of produce all these kind of nefarious things that masks, right? Masks are supposed to kind of eliminate disease. You've got to be kidding. It's about control. And I walked to Tesco today. There's about 20% people, I'd say, not wearing masks, and no one says a thing. it's fine. It's like, sure, you're meant to, but actually, you're kind of like, your obedience is very telling when you do wear them. And you can't blame the kids, you can't blame adults because they're kind of falling for it. And it's a sad story. You should pick up really on what someone like Cesarian was saying, and that at the end of his little rattle on my Facebook yesterday, he kind of gave the name of a scientist, I can't remember the name now, who said that at the center of every organic being was a kind of like mini sun. Well, and then he said, it was a shaman who said that, it'd been called it'd been called mad. But here's a scientist saying it. At the middle of every organic being, there's a mini sun. Okay, so listen. We're here, right, on Earth to find out who the fuck we are. So we go through life being given a name, right, which is really a kind of slave name in a corporation, where you're a kind of stock, and you're meant to pay off what you owe for the rest of your life to a government who is it quite a lot of money actually? Where does that money go? And there's a lot of money that you don't know about where it goes, and produce all sorts of kind of what they call defenses against supposedly attacking forces. Well, America's all about claiming freedom, but going around the world killing everybody who stands up against what they're saying, calling them terrorists. When they're actually RT, right, was the only broadcaster kind of to broadcast the anti-COVID protests, which I think began in Berlin and went to London with David Icke, and then they were called kind of sadly misinformed for inviting David Icke and mad conspiracy theorists. When this is just kind of stupid. It's like it's unfounded science trying to claim that what people are just because they come up with a few when they've done the research themselves. I've done it myself, and I know what's going on. It's kind of clear as daylight. And mini suns, right? Well, what that is about the Kundalini. It's also about the immune system, because as was explained on my timeline the other day, the body doesn't have an immune system, is the immune system. It's about thinking and rewriting your DNA to accept the germs, right? Which they're already there, they already exist in your body. Accept them, and then ask the body to start rewriting its own programming. So you get to know, the best journey anyone could go on is to find out who they are. You won't do that until you ask the question. You won't find out who you are because you've been given a name. And that name is, the payment of so-called taxes in a system that's kind of long proven to have been failing. And it's failing in bigger ways every day because people got in the wrong idea about what they should be looking at. And then trying to create division when there is no division. I'm not part of any corporation. I'm just me discovering myself on the River Thames, as it happens. But something that Laura Magdalene Eisenhower said recently. We were all once extraterrestrials. We just lost touch. And this is what happened back in Atlantis, where our DNA was messed with or changed for the right or wrong reasons. I'm kind of undecided. I think that actually maybe for the right reasons, because in the end, you're meant to work it out for yourself. And I think it's really George Harrison who gave you the best line. We come back, we get rebirthed here. For as many times as it takes until we discover what the universe is about. And that's reincarnation. And everything's an illusion. The world is an illusion. And so my sweet lord, he said, well, I kind of rate George Harrison. I think he kind of had a point. And not too many people have really got onto reincarnation and what it actually means. Alan Watts said, die before you die. Let's go through the cycle of life and death. And that you have to be willing. And Tsarian was talking about how, Odin and the Buddha both were willing. Well, you have to be willing. You have to jump yourself. And it's only about individuals. It's about you yourself. It's not about a community, because your community is kind of a mob. And the mob don't work. The mob is like, you can write all sorts of things to a mob. And it's about individuals reclaiming their spirit in the afterlife. The afterlife. This is the cycle. It's kind of going through the cycle. So you have to understand what death means. And to understand what death means, you have to be willing to go through the process of nature, which is to willingly put yourself up to a better thing, or to finding out what you don't know. And unfortunately, most people don't do that. They kind of get caught in the system, because they think the system's reality when it's not. It's just the reality that we've been subject to, programmed to be part of. And this is why protests mostly don't work, because most people are still stuck in it, even protesters. They don't really get the bigger story of spirit and their own spirit and where it came from and how they're meant to rediscover it. See, the DNA was messed with, and this is why it ties into Kundalini, because I'm going to go now because my battery's running low. But I'll kind of be back more maybe with the same subject, really. I'm going to keep on rambling. I'm a rambler. And you will get music sometime, because I do music. Even though, no one's heard it really yet. You will. Oh, yeah. See you later.